everyone, I'm Professor Geek. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to the first car video. So, apologies if the camera's a bit shaky or the placement's weird or whatever. I obviously am new to the car thing, so I will straighten that out as soon as I continue to make these. But I'm actually on my way to campus now, and I wanted to record my thoughts quickly about this Endgame trailer, because I just saw that when I woke up this morning. And I'm pretty pissed off, to be honest. Pretty pissed off, actually. It was an amazing trailer at first. It started out, I love so many things about it. I loved how it took us through each and every one of the major Avengers. Even though you have the Avengers, they also have a trinity, within the Avengers. You've got Cap, Iron Man, and Thor. And they took us through each one of those characters in order of their appearances, I'm pretty sure. But we started with Iron Man, talking about his past and everything. We got some clips from the first Iron Man movie. Same thing for Steve Rogers, and the same thing for Thor. We started to see some clips of Hawkeye, of Black Widow. I love the fact, too, it's a subtle touch, but I think it's a really cool touch that you see Black Widow's red hair growing back in. That's really cool. Not just because, I love a girl with red hair, but because you've got the, going back to the original, how we first knew the characters, how they were first introduced to us. That was really cool. I was so into it. Saw little clips of Ant-Man, and I like the fact that the music too. There's that. Forget exactly how it was, just seeing the trailer there, but that original initial tone of the Avengers theme. The da 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 da. You had that first note, and it was sort of prolonged. And you knew it was coming. You knew the whole theme was coming, and that was really cool because it was just this build-up. So it was this. Everything in the trailer was telling you already that this was going to be an epic build-up. You were going to have your Avengers coming back to be the heroes that they are. It was just so perfect. And then that final little scene where you get Captain Marvel there standing up like some sort of unearned badass. And standing down Thor, basically. Standing down Thor. And Thor walks up to her, and he calls forth his, whatever that war, battle axe or whatever he received. I forgot the name of it, in Infinity War. And stares her down, and then says, I like this one. No. Nope. That was really, really shitty thing to do, Marvel. It really was. There's also the problem with the nature of that final little clip, where you have Captain Marvel standing firm, in front of Thor, and he, I don't know what the context of the scene is. Obviously, it could be any kind of thing going on there. But I know how feminist critics work because I'm in the academic world, and it's ridiculous. So I know the feminist analysis of that scene, which you're probably going to hear already from people online. But yeah, you've got the woman there. She's obviously shorter. She's, standing up to the great, big, powerful, strong Thor, and she stands her ground. She stares him down and doesn't budge an inch, and she's just, not giving any ground to that or whatever, and she has this kind of little, metaphorical pissing match with him there or something like that. This is this fantasy that feminists have in their mind. They think that that's what they need to do to gain respect, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe already shows them it's not. Brie Larson even made some comments about this. I had to learn how to be more assertive and learn how to claim my space more or something like that. You can find it in interviews when she's going off about her feminist delusions and everything like that. But look at Black Widow. Did Natasha Romanoff ever have to stare down Thor? No. In fact, the first time we even hear her talk about Thor, she admits that these guys are basically gods. She tells Steve Rogers, maybe you might not want to head out there for this one. These guys are basically gods or whatever. She recognizes his power. She recognizes his ability, his import, and she doesn't let it diminish her. The fact that he's powerful and that he's intensely powerful, the fact that he's a strong, crazy, capable hero, that doesn't threaten Black Widow, because she knows what she is. She doesn't have to be what he is. She knows what she is. She's the amazing spy, the amazing heroine, able to manipulate anybody she wants. I mean, to get interrogations, accomplished and everything. She's incredible. She's not threatened by that. But the feminist mindset, the Brie Larson, the Captain Marvel mindset, they're incredibly threatened by men. They feel like they have to to beat men at their own game or some nonsense like that. So you get some silly little stare down like that. I mean, it's very indicative of all the nonsense that they push in terms of their mythology, or ideology rather. So yeah, that was just a problem. That everything about that little clip just stunk to high heaven of agenda. And I'm still processing exactly what pisses me off so much about that. I mean, other than the obvious, but just the fact that obviously we knew this was coming, right? We knew this was coming ever since Infinity War at the end. Obviously, they revealed it before then, but you saw that Nick Fury's pager and everything. But I trusted Kevin Feige. I trusted the MCU. All kinds of fandom are falling down all around us to the SJW bullshit. It really is. I mean, fandoms everywhere. People in charge of the fandoms, of the franchises, of the copyrights, of the storytellers, they're telling the core fans who've loved these franchises for years and years and years, kept them going, kept them alive. They're telling us under no uncertain terms that they don't give a shit about us. They really don't. You're an evil old. They assume that we're all white men, which we're not. But you're evil old white men. You need to die off. Just deal with it. This is the new guard here, and everything like that. So they're slapping us in the face everywhere. But the MCU was the last, for me anyway, it was really the last bastion of respect for the fans. And so when I saw that little beep pager with the Captain Marvel logo or whatever in Infinity War, I was still okay. I trusted Feige. I said, okay, well, they're gonna do something good here. Captain Marvel's a shit character in the comics. She really is. She's not popular. No one really likes her except for the SJWs who like to pretend that they read comics and they're so excited and yay, whatever. But she's not popular. Her comics do not sell. They've tried every little trick in the book they can think of to make her comics sell, but they won't. Captain Marvel comics are not popular. She's not a popular character. The whole Civil War II they did, I mean, people hated her guts in that. She's just a horrible, bitchy little character, and she wasn't always that. I mean, Carol Danvers was a beloved character for a long time until Kelly Sue DeConnick got her grubby little feminist mitts on her, and so that's the problem there. And they decided to go with that take. The Captain Marvel film is not well received. I don't care what they're telling you about the box office. The box office is a reflection of it being an MCU movie. It's not a reflection of it being an amazing film. And there's just so many problems with this and the storytelling. It's betrayed in a lot of different levels. And everybody's going to try to strawman it, like, oh, you just don't like a woman. Really? That's the best you can come up with? That's the best strawman you can come up with? That's so easily disproven. It's so easily disproven. We've been calling out for a Black Widow movie forever because we love that character. People love Alita Battle Angel and so on. I mean, those arguments are just, I'm getting tired of making them because people are just they don't want to reach very far in their logic, just to come up with some sort of way to dismiss any opposition to their beloved Brie Larson Captain Marvel. But there's so many problems with the storytelling here. They have forced this character on us. They haven't given us any time to develop any kind of investment in Captain Marvel, in the Carol Danvers character, and that's it's because she's not a character we could be invested in. She's pushy. She's bratty. She's just, there's nothing to. She has no journey. There's no arc to her. I'm going to do a video still about that. How there's no hero's journey in Captain Marvel. It's the feminist journey. There's no hero's journey there. They forced her onto us, and they did it at the last minute here, very manipulatively, and slipped her in at the last minute, and now they're weaving her in to this Endgame, which we are very much concerned about and very much invested in because of the long journey we've taken with these characters over 10 years. I mean, it's ridiculous. So that felt like a real slap in the face, and now that they're going to try to force the whole direction, she's going to be the helm of the universe, or whatever Kevin Feige says. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. And honestly, after I saw that little scene at the end of Endgame, I thought, how much do I care about Endgame now? My excitement just plummeted for Endgame. It really did. Like I said, I'm still processing all of it. I'm not in any way, I'm not going to see Endgame now. But I'm not excited to see Endgame. I'm really not. If I still see it, and I'm sure I probably will, I'm not going to see Endgame, But it'll just be like the closing chapter of a story, hopefully eking out some sort of pleasure. I don't know. That's where I am now. But I can honestly see, it pissed me off so much. I could see them pushing her in the trailers even more, like in another reveal or something like that, to the point where I might just, you know, be done with it. I don't care. I mean, this is no longer... See, that's the problem with DC, with Star Wars, with Marvel Comics. The problem is the characters and the franchise and the stories that we loved about these stories, about these myths, they are no longer there. The Marvel characters we grew up with that we loved, that really embedded themselves into society culturally and psychologically, they're no longer to be found in Marvel Comics. They're not. I mean, their namesakes are there, but they're no longer to be found. DC's characters, they're no longer to be found. They're no longer to be found in DC Comics. Star Wars, you know, that's not Luke. That's not Leia. That's not them on there. That's you know, their namesakes basically. That's not the real characters. So you know, where do you go? You look elsewhere. Like for Star Wars now, I'm just all about exploring the expanded universe. I'm all about exploring these long boxes and stuff for the great DC characters I used to love and everything like that. But the MCU was that last, like I said, was that last stronghold, and it did make me think, wow, I think that the days of superheroes are numbered. I think they are. But, you know, there's a lot of talk about that in years past, about, oh, well, the superhero bubble of movies, that's eventually going to bust. And I always thought, no, it's not. Because superheroes, their popularity, it's not a fad. That's ingrained in our humanity, in our psyches. And it's not because they're superheroes, but it's because our humanity is wired to be invested in the stories of epic heroes. I mean, that's mythology, that's the history of humanity, period. And superheroes, more than any other, just so viscerally connect into that epic hero story type, you know, the monomyth. So you know, I thought that was ridiculous. They're not going anywhere. But this could definitely be the thing that kills superhero movies, and it's the SJW propaganda, the SJW agenda. DC hasn't really been doing that in their movies, but DC's also not really concerned about telling stories of the characters in the comics. They're kind of creating these new characters. You know, Aquaman, that was a you know, popular movie. Everybody seems to love it, but that wasn't really Aquaman from the comics. And everybody, you know, people who know Aquaman from the comics will be very honest about that. Wonder Woman, you know, they changed her up from the bottom up. You know, that's not the Wonder Woman of the comics. Shazam looks to be the Shazam from the New 52, which is very much a Johnny-come-lately, you know, from the New 52 in recent years. In the comics, that's not the hopeful Billy Batson, the aspirational character that we've known and loved. These still might be good movies. My point is that they're not the characters from the comics. So yeah, looking at the superhero films in general, I think that's starting to die. And at this point, with this direction, with the ways that they're trying to force them, I think that's a good thing. I think it honestly would be a good thing for the superhero genre in films, at least, to die away. Because the problem now, and this is happening with Star Wars everywhere, people think that films are the only place they can go for these stories. I know that films are the most popular medium today. You know, videos, visual, you know, God forbid anybody sit down and read a book anymore. People don't even have the attention spans for it. But that hurts the medium, especially for superheroes. They are intrinsically linked to comic books, to the primarily vivid primary colors on the page, the action shots painted on static images, sequential static images. That's been the medium for epic monomythic superheroes since the cave paintings of Lascaux and Altamira, and on down to Greek art, to the metopes on the Parthenon, and so on, right down to comic books. And it's still a valid medium today. I mean, it's not as technologically advanced as say films or 3D or whatever, but it's still around. It hasn't gone anywhere. And there are reasons. I've done a video before. I might try to find that and link it in the top right-hand corner. But a video about the psychology and everything, and the materiality of a comic book text, and why it's so uniquely suited to superheroes. And I think that maybe we need to go back to that. Maybe superheroes need to return to comic books, and of course the comic book industry, that's going to crap now too. But you know, I don't know, the indie movement or whatever, somehow it's going to be saved. They're not going to die out. I mean, people aren't going to suddenly stop caring about superheroes because, as I said, they're intrinsically linked to our you know, brains, or to who we are as human beings, to our psychology. So they're not going anywhere in that sense. But I think the popularity, being at the pinnacle in the films, I think maybe that has to die out. Maybe that's the only way to get rid of all this nonsense, this SJW nonsense, and this sort of Hollywood mentality chasing after that new audience that doesn't exist, that doesn't really care. Maybe that mentality just needs to die out, and the only way to do it is to let the superhero bubble pop. I don't know. But yeah, I'm pretty pissed off by that trailer. It definitely deserved a thumbs down on YouTube for me, absolutely. I haven't even looked to see what the general reaction is yet, you know, across social media and whatnot. But you know, you can expect it. You know that all of the little social justice agenda warriors who are desperate to defend Brie Larson and Captain Marvel on all these videos and speak out the truth about this nonsense, you know they're going to be screaming the praise, trying to make as much noise as they can. But you know, the people who understand what's going on, the people who've invested in these characters for a long time, and they can recognize this horrible, horrible storytelling. And that's the thing. That's what it all boils down to. It's not that, oh, this is a political thing that I'm not aligned with. No, it's storytelling. And they have sacrificed storytelling on so many different levels and in so many different ways with the Captain Marvel infusion into the MCU. It's really, it's lowered the bar for the Marvel Cinematic Universe horribly. I mean, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been such a pinnacle of storytelling. They've had missteps, of course, but this is something else. So, yeah, I'm pretty pissed off. I imagine I'm not alone. I imagine there are quite a few people who that certainly plummets the excitement. Again, not to the point of boycotting it necessarily yet, but yeah, that's a problem. So that's all for now. Stay tuned for more, and I will be back again with reviews, live streams, and whatnot. If you want to catch my initial thoughts of Captain Marvel once I finally saw it, you can check the Office Hours live stream just a couple days ago, and I will put out that video soon about the feminist journey, which is that piss-poor substitute for the hero's journey that people are trying to push into films now. But that's all for now. Until next time, keep enjoying and digging deeper into the hero stories you love. Thanks for watching.
Do you like comics that are unafraid to portray women as feminine and men as masculine? Do you enjoy being entertained rather than preached to? If so, then you'll love my own graphic novel currently on Indiegogo. Tales from the Stacks is an anthology series in the vein of The Twilight Zone or Tales from the Crypt. It contains 3 uncanny tales to thrill and haunt you long after reading. With interior art by Dave T. and variant covers by John Malin, Kyle Ritter, and Kyung Lee, you have lots of options to choose from. You can find the link in the description below or search Indiegogo for Tales from the Stacks, and tell the comic industry you don't have to settle for their social agenda platforming. Thanks.